I've had this question a few times, so let's talk about the difference between Black Jamaican Castor Oil and normal castor oil, and if there is a reason why you should get one or the other. Let's math the math and logic the logic out of this thing. Now, we all know that Black Jamaican Castor Oil is touted as superior, and it comes at a bit of a tidier penny, right? It's more expensive than your normal castor oil. Now, castor oil is all manufactured in the same way, and that is follows the same process of extraction of the oil. So if it's British Pharmacopoeia, as per my previous videos, it's going to have to be organic, it's going to be hexane free, it's going to be cold pressed. If it's Indian Pharmacopoeia, it may still contain solvents, it doesn't have to be organic, etc. If it's American standards, then it needs to stipulate if it's hexane free or not. So depending on whereabouts in the world you are, there are standards by which the castor oil is manufactured, whether it is Black Jamaican Castor Oil or normal plain old castor oil. The difference between those two visibly is Black Jamaican Castor Oil is, as the word says, black. Now, why is it called Black Jamaican Castor Oil? Because that is the process that was used way back when in Jamaica, where inferior beans were actually roasted in a fire. What happens then, Black Jamaican Castor Oil beans are still to this day roasted in a fire the way they used to do back then, and that creates a black ash around the castor bean. So when the castor beans then go to press, they get squeezed, the oil gets squeezed out of them, and it's got that black ash in it. What is the benefit of the ash? Well, I don't know if it's a benefit, but it's certainly alkaline. It's extremely alkaline. Why does that matter? It matters because Black Jamaican Castor Oil is normally used for the hair, and too much alkalinity in the hair as well as on the skin is actually not a good thing. Here's why. Imagine a strand of hair. It's this long strand of hair. How is it made? Think of a little elevator shaft down the middle of the hair, and then it's got all these little shells on the outside superimposed along one another, closing around that central pillar of the strand of hair that protects your hair from breaking. That is what you want to often strengthen with things like keratin, to make the hair strong so that as it grows it does not break, and as you brush it and hair brushes against one another, it doesn't break, because all the strands of our hair are constantly rubbing up against one another. They're friendly folk, but that friendliness is not a good thing if there is Black Jamaican Castor Oil, because Black Jamaican Castor Oil is so alkaline due to the ash that it lifts up all of those little scales on the outside of the strand of hair. So now you've got a strand of hair that looks like a cactus. All these little things sticking out. Great to get the nutrition in there. But what is the point of getting nutrition into that little shaft in the center of the strand of hair if that strand of hair is going to break when it rubs up against all the other strands of hair? You can't take Black Jamaican Castor Oil on one little strand of hair and then put it on the strand of hair, leave it on, and then wash it off, and then do the next strand of hair, because it'll take you a lifetime. It's ridiculous. So what happens is you do the whole head of hair, the hair is rubbing up against one another, and unbeknownst to us, because this is happening on a microscopic level, these strands of hair are breaking off. Those little protective shells are breaking off, causing that strand of hair to weaken. So you're getting nutrition into it at the expense of literally killing it. Why is it more expensive? Branding. It's called marketing. They make it sound really, really fancy. And so because it sounds fancy, as we know, I've discussed product labels a few times, you pay a premium for how this is positioned in your mind. There's a principle in marketing called positioning, which is how do you position a product in the mind of the consumer? What do you want the consumer to think when they see your product? Now, Black Jamaican Castor Oil, the image that conjures in your mind is hair that is beautiful and it's flowing and it's strong, but it isn't. So in actual fact, Black Jamaican Castor Oil is not worth the price you pay for it. And why? Because the difference is ash, and that ash is extremely alkaline, and too much alkalinity, no bueno. And those are the facts.